Welcome to Traffic with Win number 345 now. Losing track of time. Lots of traffic this week. So I've already covered how to find a great setter or how to hire a great setter, the mock interview. If you haven't watched that yet, that's literally going to save you half of the time and thousands of dollars and hours wasted in hiring the wrong people who look great on the resume or even sound great in emails, right? How to find them, how to hire them, also already cover how to manage them. But I want to dive a little bit deeper into the topic of like how to actually manage. Like, what does a day-to-day cadence look like, and how to maintain a high-performance team or one person if you're just hiring the first one, right? And the reason why that is if I break down like how to find, how to onboard, and how to manage the team or a setter, I would say 50% of the time you can, like half of the results going to come from how to know how to recruit, right? The other 30% is how to onboard. The other 20% is really how to manage. But I want to cover the how to manage because that 20% makes all of the difference. Because at this point, if you already hired properly and you've already managed properly, you've already spent 80% of the efforts, and you've invested so much into this employee or this person, and yet if you fall back or if you let down on the 20% that makes managing somebody great, then you've wasted all of these efforts, right? So if you hire right and your onboarding is kind of not optimal, but if you really nail the management, the ongoing management, then it can actually still save the boat from sinking entirely, right? Or the setter from either leaving or churning. So that's why I want to cover this last. Onboarding is another topic in and of itself. But really, if you already invested, you found the great candidate, you've done the 2-call mock interview, they are the perfect candidate. If you get this management piece right, it can be a little bit more forgiving for the onboarding. So, 3 things with management for the rep themselves, and then I'll talk a little more on the kind of the macro of like how to vision company and all that stuff. Okay, so 3 things with managing daily. Number 1 is the most important concept and frame you want to understand is closers work alone. They're lone wolves. They like to be left on their own. They go hunting, right? And setters, to a certain extent, their day-to-day process is by themselves, but because they are brand new a lot of the times, they're brand new into the world of sales, and they're brand new into working remotely. Most companies I work with are remote. At best, it's hybrid, right? You have 2 forces at once that is working against you because they don't have any experience in sales, and they don't know how to manage and work themselves without going to an office. Most people are coming from an office to working online with this. So that I would say the failure rate of a setters are way higher, having nothing to do with the reps themselves, right? It's just your business, the environment, and the fact that they're working remote. And they're learning something brand new. So this is why the daily management cadence is so key. So 3 things. 1 is daily huddle, meaning it's going to be a sales-focused meeting with you or your sales manager and your sales team, if you have a sales team. But at the very least, this should be a meeting with you and your setter or your closer. That's 2, plus the setter. That's 3. Every company should have that structure. But you'd be shocked at how many people that don't have it, okay? So daily huddle, and I'll talk about what that format for the huddle would look like. Number 2 is daily metrics and KPIs. Okay, this is the number piece. So the number piece is this should be in a spreadsheet that your closers and your setters update every single day without fail, and it's a non-negotiable. And it should have very easy to update numbers. How many dials did you make? How many conversations do you have from those dials? Dials can also be activities as well. So activities meaning text, messages, emails. But primarily for outbound setters, it's going to be phone calls. Okay, phone calls, conversations from those phone calls. So you might have heard like pickup rates, appointment set, how many appointments are you scheduled, appointments attended that day, and close revenue. So those are the 5 must-have ingredients or metrics for a setter. And sales close is not them closing it, right? It's the appointments that they set for the closers that close that day. So that's the second piece. So first is daily huddle. Second is daily reporting, KPIs, right? The third piece is also a daily reporting, but it's not having to do with numbers. It's more on the qualitative side of things, meaning the second piece is, hey, what inputs did you get in, or did you put into your daily, right? Calls, appointments. The third piece is more an actual reporting. So I have my reps, or I had my reps in Slack at the end of the day, actually write out their metrics. So calls, dials, right? Dials, conversations, appointments, and things like that. But also at the end of that reporting, of that just the numbers, they're gonna write out the conversations they had that day with the prospects. And this applies to both closer and setters as well. And what you're looking for here, and how this is different than just the numbers, is you're looking for quality. The other thing is just about quantity, right? Numbers of appointments. The third piece is the quality of those appointments. And this is also so key to give coaching advice and really support your setters, okay? And your closer, really. So what I'm looking for in that is if they had if they made 100 dials today, they had 10 conversations, which is a decent pickup rate. And out of those 10 conversations, they had 3 that were not a fit or not a real lead. They have 2 conversations that said, hey, I'm interested, but send me more information over emails. And then 5 conversations that said, hey, I want to book a call. Here's my situation. Okay. So what you want to see is you want to see your reps, setters, list out those qualitative metrics or notes or reports. Like 5 people said no, 2 people said yes, 3 people said maybe. And as a coach, right, or a manager, you can just look at those notes and be able to very quickly diagnose what the problems are, right? And so in the numbers piece, right, you can see, hey, if only 1 person pick up out of 100 dials, that's a different problem to fix than if 10 people pick up and they only schedule 1 meeting, right? With the first one, hey, 100 dials and 1 person pick up, it's probably lead quality, right? Like maybe fake phone number. Maybe they don't even have phone numbers. Maybe they're calling at the wrong time. So that's more of the lead issue that we can fix, that we can look at. The qualitative, like, hey, if they made 100 dials, 20 people picked up, and you only schedule 1 meeting, let's look at the quality of your conversations, right? Why are people saying no? How is your opening, right? Are you leaving voicemail? And things like that. And that's why we need all 3. And they actually work in tandem and at like a circle or like a flywheel that actually improve everything else that they do during the day. So those are the 3: daily huddle, numbers reporting, and then qualitative reporting. They update the daily huddle start at the first thing of the day. And as they go through their days, they should be taking notes in their conversation and their phone calls that would turn into that end of the day reporting, right? And then the metrics is what they update at the end of the day as well. So this way, as a new rep, they're always plugged in to what's going on with the company, with the daily huddle, and they are crystal clear on their production, right? The problem with a lot of reps that, again, not in sales before, that I found, is they just don't know how good they are, right? If they're coming from a server, like they have been a restaurant server, they are line cook, they are teachers, all of which have I've had the privilege of actually working with and help transition into sales. The problem with going from that to a setter online is, if you're showing up to a restaurant or an office, there's feedback all the times, right? As soon as you mess up something, or as soon as you're not producing, or people will let you know. The problem with online is you don't know the stuff until a week out, right? And by that time, it's already too late. So that's why these 3 things are really important. So let me dive into the daily huddle thing. So a lot of companies don't run meetings, right? It becomes this thing where people have to like show up, and like it goes overtime, and it's low energy. No one says anything, and it's just not fun. Okay, the daily huddle is nothing like that. Okay, it's meant to be very high energy, short and sweet and to the point, and it's supposed to pump people up. Right? So you have to set the tone for this daily huddle, and it can be 10 minutes. I don't care. Make it 5 if you have 3 people, right? So 3 things on these daily huddles. Number 1, share one win, okay, of the previous day. It could be a case study that you watched, some new result that you've seen in the community, and this is for the reps to show up with. Okay, so share one win. Maybe they made a bunch of dials. Maybe they scheduled a bunch of meetings. Share one win because you want to start with something positive first. Second thing is what was accomplished the day before in general, right? Again, you've already done the reporting the day before in a Google Sheet and in Slack. You should be able to read off what you wrote yesterday, right? So this reinforces their accomplishment and their results for the previous day. Third thing is, what are you planning on doing today, right? And any challenges and roadblocks that you have preventing you from hitting that goal or that accomplishment today. So those are the 3 things. So you want to know, hey, what did you do yesterday? What are you going to do today? And is there anything that I, as a manager or owner, have to do to help you remove or get you unstuck so you can achieve that thing that you said you're going to do today? So it makes it very crystal clear on what they did the day before, and is there any problem, any issues preventing them from getting that their task done today. So you're always on the ball with them. And you can read, if somebody's on a Zoom call, you can tell how someone is doing from the energy and the way they carry themselves. So you have a very, very good pulse on what's going on. I promise you, the 5 or 10 minutes you invest in this, in your sales processes with your setters and closer, I know as a founder, something you might be like, I don't want to do daily meetings. I'm telling you, it's going to be, the ROI on the 10 minutes is tremendous, okay? What else? The reporting, the metrics, no reps, no sales reps, no matter what they do, likes to input and report their metrics and KPIs. It's something that you just have to drive home for them, right? And in the beginning, they're gonna hums and haws, especially if they're been there for a while. That's okay. That's just part of change, right? And you want to set that tone first, and you want to call people out for it, okay? And it's a spreadsheet. I have the company number, and then I have each rep numbers, and they all funnel into the company number from each tab. So the rep will go into their tab, update their numbers at the end of the day. Again, those 5 metrics, and then they're done, right? For that, and that should be done at the end of the day. The third piece is the Slack updates. Let's call the second one metrics, and then the third one reporting, right? So at the end of the day, also, they should be able to just pull up their CRM and pull up the notes from the conversations they've had during the day, and just put basically copy and paste, right? Into Slack. Again, it's literally just regurgitating the metrics they've already captured during the day, and the CRM should be able to tell them, hey, how many dials did I make? How many conversations have I had? I'm a fan of Close.com. I've worked with companies that use HubSpot and Salesforce. But if you have a smaller teams, definitely use a CRM and start with Close. So that's the start. You need all three to make this well-oiled machine. Okay. Again, if you have any questions or you want me to expand further, drop me a note or send me a message. Happy to chat about this stuff all day long. If you nail those three things, that'll take you no less than 20 minutes a day to look at, right? 5 to 10 minutes with a meeting, and then 5 to 10 minutes looking at the metrics on Google Sheet and the update in Slack, and you're gonna know exactly what's going on with each rep. And as a result, each rep literally is your business, right? Is your team on the front line. So that's it. The other bonus point that I would say is, remember when we talked about hiring earlier on, and like how do you close, and you basically do a button up when someone accepts the position to become a closer and setter with you. I built these three things, the expectations for these three things, into the job description. So literally in the job description, you'll say, hey, we have a daily huddle. We expect you to be there. We expect you to be ready for the meeting. We expect you to be high energy. You're prep. You have a win to share right away. And everybody is contributing to the meeting, to that huddle. And we don't have to do the whole, does anybody have anything to say? All right, nobody, I'm gonna pick on somebody. Like, I want you to show up there ready to contribute, excited to contribute. And that's how we do our sales meetings here, right? Literally built into this job description. You're gonna do a daily metric reporting. Are you okay with that? Yes, it's a 2 minutes thing in Excel, easy. Yes. And we do a Slack updates in our community, company Slack updates. It consists of this. Are you good with this? Right? And this is how we maintain and foster a high performance culture. And this is what you need to do to stay part of my team, to be high performance. Okay? So it's, again, they know what they expected. It's not like something that they don't know about and then they're being asked to do an additional thing they have to do. Like, if you set this expectation at the beginning, one, they're going to be impressed that, hey, you're actually organized and you maintain a high performance team, and two, they've already agreed to it, right? So their compliance and their agreement, or the likelihood of them complying to this process is going to be much higher. Guess what? That's exactly what you do with your clients anyways, right? You tell your clients, hey, this is what is expected of you in the program, is that we're gonna get results together. So why not do that with your sales reps? Okay? So that's that. Traffic is no longer traffic. Catch you on the next one.